Hey everyone, thanks for joining. I'm Greg, and in each episode, we'll explore the spending plan of a household through the eyes of three financial experts, Dave Ramsey, the Money Guys, and Ramsey Sethi. I'm not a financial expert, I'm just a guy with some spreadsheets and a calculator. Welcome to Money Month. Today, we're going to revisit the spending plan of a couple in their early 30s from Kentucky with one child. Let's get started. Okay, couple from Kentucky, let's review your spending plan. Your assets are $265,000. Investments, $50,400. Emergency fund is $15,000. Pre-planned savings, $0. High interest debt is $5,000. Low interest debt is $230,000 for a total net worth of $95,400. Your gross monthly income is $6,500, which is about $78,000 per year. Your net monthly income is $4,850. For your fixed costs, your mortgage is $1,500, groceries $800, credit card $200, student loan $320, water $50, electricity $100, gas $50, trash $20, internet $60, cable $80, phone $50, insurance $100, transportation $200, clothes $10, subscriptions $80, and miscellaneous is $300, for a total fixed cost of $3,920. For investments, you have pre-tax retirement savings of $500 per month. Post-tax retirement savings is $100 a month, for an investment total of $600 per month. For savings goals, you have $100 going to emergency fund and $80 going to college savings, for a total savings of $180 per month. For guilt-free spending, you spend $150 per month. Last episode, we looked at the spending plan through the eyes of Dave Ramsey. This episode, let's see what the Money Guys would say about this. The Money Guys have the FOO, the financial order of operations. Let's see which step you're on and how long it will take you to get to the last step. Step 1, save enough in an emergency fund to cover your highest deductible for insurance, such as your home insurance, your car insurance, your health insurance, etc. To do this, find out what your deductibles are for your insurance plans, and whichever one has the highest deductible, make sure you save enough in an emergency fund to cover that. This step is similar to Dave Ramsey's baby step 1, which is saving a starter emergency fund of $1,000. So the difference between the two approaches is that baby step 1 is a simple one-size-fits-all amount, whereas the FOO step 1 requires some research to find out what your amount should be. Have you saved enough in your emergency fund to cover your highest deductible? Let's see, you've saved $15,000 in your emergency fund so far. I don't know what your highest deductible is, but my assumption is that it's far less than $15,000. So congratulations, you've completed step 1 of the FOO. Celebrate that and move on to step 2. Step 2. Save enough in your employee retirement plan to get the employer match. To do this, find out how much your employer matches, then contribute that amount to your retirement plan. The employer match doubles your money. It's 100% return on your contribution, which is amazing. To compare this with the baby steps, Dave Ramsey wants you to pay off all your debt in baby step 2, whereas the Money Guys want you to get this 100% return on your money, because getting 100% return mathematically still beats out paying 20 to 30% on a high-interest debt. Have you saved enough in your employee retirement plan to get the employer match? You're contributing $500 per month to your 401k. If your employer matches more than that, then you should increase this contribution until you can get the full match. On the other hand, if your employer matches less than $500 per month, then you should decrease your contribution until it equals the employer match and use the extra amount for the next step in the financial order of operations. Since I don't know your employer match amount, let's say it's $100 per month. You should decrease your contribution to $100 per month, then use the $400 extra for the next step. So once you change your contribution to equal the match, then congratulations, you've completed step 2 of the FOO. Celebrate that and move on to step 3. Step 3. Pay off high-interest debt. In general, this kind of debt is credit card debt, where interest rates are obviously high, like 15%, 18%, or 22%. I think there's even some credit card interest rates that are as high as 30%, which is insane. The Money Guys want you to pay this off in step 3 and do whatever it takes to get this paid off as quickly as possible, which is similar to Dave Ramsey's approach to debt, except the Money Guys are only concerned with high-interest debt for step 3. Paying off low-interest debt doesn't come until step 9, the very last step of the FOO. However, what they consider low interest debt and high interest debt is not always a simple answer. It depends on your age and the interest rate. For example, in your 20s, if you have an interest rate greater than 6%, this might be considered high interest debt. In your 30s, if the interest rate is greater than 5%, that might be considered high interest debt. In your 40s, if the interest rate is greater than 4%, this might be considered high interest debt. And in your 50s, any debt might be considered high interest debt.
Have you paid off all your high interest debt? No, not yet. For debts, you have $5,000 in credit card debt, $30,000 on a student loan, and $200,000 on a mortgage. However, the Money Guys would only consider the $5,000 credit card debt as a high interest debt. As I said, for step 1 of the FOO, I assume your emergency fund is in excess of the amount needed to cover your highest deductible. I would think that the Money Guys would suggest taking $5,000 from your emergency fund to pay off your credit card debt. This would leave you with $10,000 in your emergency fund, and your high interest debt would be paid off, so you could celebrate that, then move on to step 4 of the FOO.
Step 4. Save enough in your emergency fund to cover 3 to 6 months of expenses or greater.
How much is 3 to 6 months of expenses? To find that out, you take your fixed costs and multiply that by 3 and 6. Your fixed costs are $3,720. So 3 months of that would be $11,160. And 6 months of that would be $22,320. Have you saved enough in your emergency fund to cover 3 to 6 months of expenses or greater? No. When you reach step 4, your emergency fund is $10,000. How long would it take you to do each? You've already saved $10,000. So for a 3-month emergency fund, you would need to save another $1,160. And for the 6 months emergency fund, you would need to save another $12,320. Once your credit card debt is paid off, you would use that $200 towards the emergency fund, which would bring that savings amount from $100 per month to $300 per month. I also see that you're saving $80 per month for your child's college fund. Since saving for college doesn't come until step 9 of the FOO, the Money Guys would have you put that $80 toward the emergency fund as well, which brings your monthly emergency fund payment to $380. Also, instead of contributing $600 to investments, you would just do the $100 for pre-tax retirement savings to get the employer match, and the remaining $500 would be used to save up for your emergency fund faster, which would bring your monthly emergency fund savings to $880. So for the 3-month emergency fund, saving $880 per month, it would take you a little over a month to save up $1,160 to total $11,160 in your emergency fund. For the 6-month emergency fund, saving $880 per month, it would take you about 14 months to save up $12,320 to total $22,320 in your emergency fund. If you're a single income household and you have a stable job, you might want to go with the 3 months, otherwise save 6 months. Since your original spending plan showed you had $15,000 in your emergency fund, let's assume you want to go with a 6-month emergency fund, which means step 4 would take you about 14 months, a little over a year, to complete. You'd celebrate that and move on to step 5.
Step 5. Save the max amounts in a Roth IRA and health savings account if you're able to contribute to those. They specify the Roth IRA because with that account, you can withdraw that money tax-free at retirement. Then, if there's any money left, contribute the max amount you can into a health savings account. If you can't invest the max, then start by doing what you can, then increase that amount every year until you reach the max.
In step 4, you are putting $880 a month toward your emergency fund. Now that's done, you can use this amount to contribute to your Roth IRA and health savings account. First, find out the maximum amount you can contribute to a Roth IRA. You'd have to look up what the limits are, but in 2024, if you're under age 50, you can contribute $7,000 per year, which is about $583 per month. Once you've set up that account, invested the $583 per month into a low-cost fund, and automated a recurring payment into that fund, then you've maxed out your Roth IRA. What about the health savings account? You started out with $880 per month to spend, and you've spent $583, which leaves you with $297 left to contribute to your HSA. In 2024, families can contribute up to $8,300 in their HSA accounts, which is $691 per month. So you can start contributing $297 per month to your HSA, but you can't max it out yet, so you're stuck in this step until you can do that. To do this, you could increase your income or reduce your expenses or both. And also note that you have a $30,000 student loan that you've been paying $320 per month towards. Once that's paid off, then that will free up that $320 per month. When will that be paid off? Let's look at a debt calculator. Your current balance owed is $30,000. I don't know your interest rate, so let's put 5%. If you pay $320 per month, that means it would take you 120 months to pay that off, 10 years. So in 10 years, your student loan would be paid off, which will free up that $320 per month to be used in step 5 of the FOO to bring your HSA contribution to $617. As I mentioned earlier, the current max HSA is $691 per month, so you're just short of maxing out the HSA by $74. To max it out, you could increase your income or reduce your expenses or both. Until you can do this, you'll be stuck at step 5 of the FOO. Now let's look at a retirement calculator to see what all your investing will add up to when you reach your retirement age. We estimated that it would take you 14 months, about a year, to get to step 5. I know you're in your early 30s, so let's say you're 33. From age 33 to age 34, you would just be contributing $100 per month to your 401k to get the employer match, which would be $2,400 for that year. Historically, the market has given 10 to 11% rates of return, but let's be conservative with this and say 7%. And according to the spending plan, your current retirement savings are $50,400. After a year, you should have about $56,328 saved for retirement. In the beginning of step 5, you are able to contribute an additional $880 to your Roth IRA and HSA to bring your monthly contribution amount to $980, plus the $100 per month employer match, which is a yearly contribution of $12,960. If you did this for 10 years from age 34 to age 44, when your student loan would be paid off, you would have about $289,867. You would then take the $320 that you were contributing to your student loan and put it towards your investments to increase that amount to $1,300 per month, plus the $100 per month employer match, which would be a yearly contribution of $16,800. If you did that from age 44 until age 65, you would have about $1,954,000. With a 4% safe withdrawal rate, that would give you about $78,160 to live off of in retirement per year. If you ever get raises and you're able to contribute your contributions during those years, your savings could add up to a whole lot more than that. So there you have it, the Money Guys financial order of operations. To recap, you're currently on step 3 of the FOO. You could use some of your emergency fund to pay off your high-interest debt. Then it will take you about a year to complete step 4. Then another 9 years to almost complete step 5. And you will remain on step 5 until you can increase your HSA contribution to max it out. And by the time you're 65 years old, you should have about $1,954,000 saved for retirement. If you have any comments or questions about the spreadsheets, the MoneyMonth app, or my analysis of anything, feel free to hit me up in the comments, and I'll do my best to respond to you in the comments or in a future episode. I'll put links out there for you to download those for free in case any of those look useful to you. In the next episode, we'll look at your spending plan through the eyes of Ramsey Sethi and take you up his ladder of personal finance. Whether you're following Dave Ramsey's baby steps, the Money Guys FOO, Ramsey Sethi's ladder of personal finance, or your own plan, the key is finding a plan that works for you and sticking to it. And that's a wrap on another episode of Money Month. Thanks for joining. If you enjoyed the show, please like, subscribe, review, add comments, and tell your friends. If you want to play along at home, I'll add some links so you can download the spreadsheets in the desktop app. We'll be back soon with more tips, tricks, and insights to help you achieve your personal finance goals. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep making every month count with Money Month.